So we used to make this bar. What the heck is that made of? Transmission. What is it?
It's
all right, something completely different next. Hey George.
Completely different?
That one's finished. Anybody know what that is? This belongs to a good friend of mine. It's already changed the wheels. I just saw this truck last week. He just picked it up, 2020 Ford Raptor. Has an aftermarket exhaust on this. Was already on it, and it doesn't sound good. It has basically those two mufflers, and that's it. We're gonna add a muffler here. We're gonna remove that X pipe and put in a Tycon muffler there. See if we can chop down some of that sound. This thing is a badass truck. I can't afford one. Nobody suggested. That thing is so wide. You've probably seen this car on the channel before. This is our friend Christian. We call him Top Gun because we know several Christians. So he's putting an OEM clutch in there. The clutch he has right now is an ACT. We put in, how many miles ago did we put this in?
Like 25,000 miles.
25,000 miles. Give you an idea how well he looks after his clutch. Look at that. There's no hot spots, no damage, no wear. The disc still looks perfect. He's changed it because it really doesn't need a heavier clutch. I think he had plans of going turbo supercharger, but now he's not. So we're just gonna put an OEM clutch in there. Look at the flywheel. So he's getting one of our shift boots, the red stitching to match his car. What do you have on there right now?
Alcantara.
So that's kind of like an Alcantara.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Stitching isn't as bright. The stitching is a little bit bigger on ours, but it's pretty nice.
It's all right.
So I'll let you do this. Hopefully you've seen our videos, but these two screws, these on the switches, these two, and then there's two under there you got to take off. I'll let you do it.
Sir.
If you run into any snags. This is another one of those that has the wobble in there. You see how much low that is? It's only noticeable when you look at it straight from the back. This over here, the bumper's loose shape over time. These clips actually pop out. And this is something we see when it's like this. It's like an air scoop. The air actually catches in this, and the more the air catches, the more it pushes this down. So if you're on a long run, constant pressure on this kind of exaggerates that. So we used to make this bar just as a flat slab back in the day, make them by hand as we need them. Now we've got it manufactured. So this is going to be something we'll have in the store. It's going to have our name lasered on there. It's black anodized, and it fits across there. It's going to replace those clips which often come out. This is 6061, so it's a stiffer material, and it is pocketed, so it's not just like a big flat slab. So the good news is, it's your birthday coming up, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday. You're getting the first one.
You didn't have to do that.
Oh, well, let me take it back then.
No, I'm good.
So I'll let you install it. Got to take those off. And basically, it bolts right in there. I'm going to get you to put it on so we can see it before and after.
Okay.
So you're going to take these off, thin blade screwdriver, and put that on with an Allen. And it's a lock nut on that side, so it's not going to back off. How nice that is.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
First one. All back together. Look how nice that shift boot looks. This is the shift knob I really like. I got it in my car. George has it in his car. It's been my favorite shift knob so far. And I did a bit of a cleanup and put one of our new springs in there too. Look how much tighter that is. So spring comes with our shift rebuild kit. It's slightly upgraded. You guys will notice the difference when you put it in there. Let's go ahead and get Mr. Top Gun to start it up. Feel that clutch. Going from an ACT, this is like a baby clutch. Look at that. Let's want to see what that free plays like.
Ready?
Yeah. Set the e-brake off. We want it about halfway if we can, but we want about 15 millimeters of free play. Kind of right off the floor, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit too close. It didn't feel like there was enough free play in it. Yeah, it needs to come up a little higher than that. go ahead and adjust it.
If you press the brake too, you can kind of feel it.
Yeah, hold the brake down, and as you release it, you'll be able to feel it grab. It's not bad. I just want to put a bit more in it. Remember, super easy braking. As soft as can be in it. All right, nice and easy. Granny shifting. All right, while Christian drives his car, he's going to do a quick preliminary braking on the clutch. Make sure he's happy. This is next car. This car came a long way. Yeah, came from Mississippi. He is getting IP2 retainers and keepers, and he's getting IP2 banjo bolts. Sorry, it's loud out here. The fans are running on the factory next door. 19,000 miles. We did find out the clutch master cylinder was leaking, which is pretty common on these cars, especially one that we don't really know the maintenance history. And while we're in there, we found out this button is really close to breaking. The cruise control one was already broken, so now is a perfect time to replace and put new pedal buttons in there, which is why we got the pedal assembly out. You see the one up in the top there. Right there, so there's two on this pedal, one on your brake. Best way to get it off, remove this pedal. Makes it much, much easier. All right, this one's done. Idle's really, really smooth. So it's a low mileage car anyway, but doing a valve adjustment, we did notice the intake and exhaust valves were a little tight, so it's always good to have those up to spec. So this wasn't on there. It's a 2000. The 2000 didn't come with this. So he brought that and asked if we could install it. This is discontinued, by the way. This was missing. It's discontinued, so he's going to have to search the forums, see if he can get one of those. But this right here, pretty much a direct bolt on.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's little pockets in here where the nuts go.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know, they didn't come with them, but they were like prepared for it.
They were ready for it. Maybe he didn't make it for the first year, they just sent him out. Anyway, we did that for him. We're not going to charge him for that. That's just a thank you for making such a long journey. Clutch master cylinder, new buttons, banjo bolts, retainers and keepers. This one's done. This is something we've seen a lot over the years. If you don't put the oil cap on tight enough, there's a good chance it falls off, sprays oil everywhere, and the problem is the cap falls behind the cylinder head and lands on top of the transmission. It's almost impossible to retrieve, and that's where it goes, right there. It sits on top of the transmission. You can't get this from the top. It falls down, slips down the back of the valve cover, sits right there. And then you end up getting an aftermarket cap that doesn't look as nice as the factory Honda one. This is a brand new factory Honda one that we have in the store, and they're just so nice. Just a good looking cap, and the lettering is so nice. Well, the problem is if you put them on tight, then they're difficult to remove. You can use vice grips, or if you got a good strength, sometimes you can get them off. Or this is a trick that we've used. You use the rubber ends of pliers, and it'll fit between the spokes, and then you can retrieve it. Again, it's tedious, sometimes difficult, sometimes you can't get them off, and I hate to do the vice grips around the whole thing. Well, this is the first prototype tool that fits, and it's just enough that you can put a little bit of tension on it. This is 3D printed, and it was more just to be able to test it. And it allows you to snug the cap and, of course, remove it. It's a little bit clunky. It doesn't look pretty. So we streamlined it and made this. This isn't a 3D printed one. It's streamlined. It doesn't have to be really tight. You've just got to tighten it and squash that rubber seal to stop it backing off. And then same thing when it comes to removing it, you want to make sure that you got enough pressure to take it off. So once we've tried this, we're happy with this. Here is the brand new one. This is a billet, black anodized, one piece. It's the exact same as that one, which was streamlined, and it's super nice, super pretty, and it fits that cap absolutely perfect. Look at that. You can sit there and move that and see actually exactly what you're doing. And again, we don't want to make this too long. We don't want too much leverage. We don't want you tightening that cap so hard you can damage the cap, or you over squash the seal. So this is something, if your cap is old, you have a high mileage one, this rubber seal does get squashed and damaged, and the cap can get scratched. If you're kind of OCD like us, we're going to sell the cap. It's in the store. We also sell this tool right here. If you're doing your oil changes, this definitely makes life much easier. We're going to be keeping one in the shop. This is in the store. Check it out. And you can buy just the tool or a cap and the tool together. There you go. We often have a wow moment when it comes to working on cars. This is from an S2000. This is a 06 up design. It's a returnless system. The regulator is here. This is how the fuel pump all goes together. It sits on here. There is a seal at each end, and then it goes up into this hole right here. Well, we had a car come in. It didn't run. We checked everything, everything checked out, but it had no fuel pressure. So we took this apart, and we found out the seal had broken. You see that? So went on the Honda store. Luckily this is available, but the whole thing is like $500. Well, good thing about Honda, they often separate it. So this right here is a part, and then they list these grommets. There's two. There's one at the top, one at the bottom. It goes like this. Always a good idea to if one's bad, replace the other one. That way you're not doing a fuel pump twice. This is what I ordered. This is the part number right here for the straw. It didn't tell me it came with grommets, but it does. This straw, 11 bucks. The grommets, which I ordered separate, this part number right here, take a wild guess how much you think that grommet is right there. And I ordered two. There's the other one. Take a wild guess, George. You're good at guessing.
So just the grommet, I mean, since we're wowing about it.
Tube is 10 bucks. And it came with two.
And it's a wow moment. That's double the cost of the thing. It's 20 bucks.
Which would be crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said it's a wow moment, and then usually that is, you find out that you get a weird part that you shouldn't have got for less money.
Yes. So, guess how much this is? You want to take a look? Let me show you right here. Ready? Ready? $49.85.
That is crazy.
What the heck is that made of? They want $50 for it, but then they'll give you it over here.
You think maybe you should use the $50 one in case it's not as good as the $10 ones?
Yeah, I'll throw those away and put those on.
Yeah.
They're probably the upgraded ones. Maybe they're the high performance ones. And what's really cool is it comes in a box like this.
Nice big box.
Look how big that box is. That box right there. And that guy goes in it.
Not even any packing.
No, well, it doesn't need to. It's just rubber.
Yeah,
it's not going to break.
It, but
Yeah. Yeah, they feel good about packing that.
no reason to not fill up that big box.
Yeah, right. You're not going to break that seal. It's going to ship completely fine. Is that not insane? So if you ever have this issue with your S2000, it's a fuel pressure issue, because we checked relays, checked power. We have power going to here, so we said, okay, it has to be the fuel pump. To date, never had a Honda fuel pump fail, unless it's 500,000 mile pump. Anything less than that, we've never had a fuel pump fail, so we can still claim that. Look at that. Something so minor that you wouldn't think of fixed the car. The only negative part to doing a fuel pump is you've got this much room to work. You have to take those interior panels out, which you come from the other side. Then you can access this. The fuel pump sending unit, I showed you earlier, is under there. So this cover goes back on with Phillips screws. All the panels go back on with plastic clips. Make sure you put all the plastic clips back in there, guys. Don't throw them away. There is 4 across there. And then over here, there is 3 over here. This is me talking to the camera. So many people don't put them back because they go, I can't get it back in, I'm going to throw it away. And then someone like us comes behind you and says, why did you throw those clips away? You should have put them back. It is a reason why Honda put them in there. It's not because they had extra clips they need to get rid of. They actually help prevent the interior from rattling. This is one of those cool designs, right? See those little buttons? These all line up a certain way. And those little buttons line up. I'm trying to look through the camera. Once you get it right, sit right there. Look at that. That tells you it's right. When they all line up properly and the Phillips screw goes in there, if this is off, it won't line up. This one won't line up. You see how the pins are all in there? Remove that. Remove that little bit of fluff. See that? It's dark in here, that's why the camera won't focus. It fits perfect. Make sure you take your time to put them back how they should be. It takes a few more minutes, but it's definitely worth it. All right, we've got another AP1 in here for retainers and keepers. This one has, I think, 160,000 miles. We're doing some other tune-up parts as well. You can see on the retainer there, the tip looks like it's kind of sinking in the retainer. That tells you that the retainer is actually bending around. It's also worn. We see these retainers bend at first, and then occasionally they will actually crack. And this is a real expensive accident. If these ever fail, it usually wipes out the motor. So it's always cheaper to do the retainers and keepers as a preventative maintenance. Even that one earlier in the video, the 15,000 mile one or 18,000, it was more for preventive. They were perfect, but it's more peace of mind. This is the retainer that just came off there. You see the outer band there. That is where the spring is contacting. That is where the retainer actually starts to wear. And we'll notice to get very thin here. You see that edge, how thin that is? I'll show you here in a minute an AP2. AP2 retainers, we've said this so many times, we're gonna say it again. See that lip right there? Again, we're just kind of visually looking at a camera right here, and it's gonna be difficult to really see it, but the edge is thicker. And also this area around here, I feel like it's a bit beefier too. Kind of hard to say on camera, but this one looks a little bit beefier, and it's definitely heavier. It's noticeably difference in weight. It's going to be one of those days that we say, wow, we haven't seen that before. So look at this. This is one of the springs. See how the retainer is actually worn into the spring? It's actually sitting in a groove, look. So the retainer is really hard to separate. And that is why. You see that? Look at that step right there. So we notice there's another one in the motor that's worse. So that was the retainer I showed you and said it's sinking. That one is too. Well, look at that spring. That one is almost rubbed through the coil. Almost half of that coil has rubbed through. So I don't know if it's just miles. It's probably oil related too, because the oil is pretty dark in here. It's not terrible, but oil is to help relieve friction. So if you don't put oil in the car, obviously you have a lot of friction, things break, things overheat. Better oil helps reduce that. It doesn't eliminate it, but look at that. There's another bad one. That one might be the worst. So I'm gonna have to call him and give him the news. He's gonna need springs as well as retainers. Luckily we have them. Pretty much. There was one that was decent, right?
This one's not too bad.
Yeah, it's still
It's
steady.
starting.
That is
that was-
unbelievable.
That's the one next to it.
Look at that.
But there's still one in the car that looks worse.
Yeah, can't wait to see that one.
And the exhaust ones are doing it too.
Yeah.
But they are in there now, and we can show you all of the other ones.
So looking at it from here, the car doesn't look too high, does it? When you get kind of flat onto it. I'm still really torn about lowering it, but then when you get close, I feel like it's got a big wheel gap. And I mentioned I don't want to lower it too much because I do want to take it to the road course. I really want to take it to the firm. Not that I want to hurt it, but I feel a whole lot better driving a $40,000 car around the track as opposed to the NSX, which was like $180,000. Now, I don't mean to come off as cocky. Some people think I'm throwing numbers around like I'm a big shot. $180,000 to me is insane. I can't afford that. The NSX was only here for 6 months because that's all I could afford to keep it for. Put a pretty good chunk down based on a couple of cars that I'd bought and sold, but the NSX couldn't stay. I also couldn't afford for it to go wrong. The NSX did what it needed us to do. It got us in with a few of the bigger companies that now we work with and we have good relationships with, and he taught us a lot about the car because we got to see so many things that Honda do on a turbo car that we have translated onto our builds. Plus, he's got us a lot of NSX customers, and we do enjoy working on NSXs. It's just like working on a regular Honda. It's a surprise.
It's a, yeah.
Open it.
Something that smells really yummy.
It does.
Yeah. And I know who it's from.
What? Say who it's from.
It's from Philip. It's from our best friend Philip.
Philip, you're going to walk in here at 2 in the morning and want change for $1, if you know my analogy, and we'll have it.
And we'll have it.
We'll have every
if
denomination.
Not, we'll just show up. Look at that
Holy
deliciousness. What?
Wow.
Look. It lit. See, I'm not lying.
This is what it looks like.
Look at this.
That is fantastic. This is way better than what we usually eat.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
This short beet sandwich has done it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, we saved all of his springs and retainers to give them back to him. That way he can look at them and know what was replaced.
It's got plugs. There's some coils in here.
These don't look that bad. Actually,
They're a little oily because of the valve
but
cover.
they don't look worn.
These are used too.
They're used.
Yeah.
Were they in the box?
Yeah.
Really?
Kind of weird.
Look at the other one.
Maybe this
We'll
one
make
is
sure.
not. Yeah.
That would suck. I guess we're going to have to call him on that one. Alright, I guess we'll call him and go, hey, do you want the used plugs in, or did somebody sell you new plugs and give you used? With the spark plugs, he bought them off eBay thinking they were brand new, they were supposed to be, and they were used, which really sucks, which means this guy bought them brand new and put his old one in the box and then sold it on eBay. That's awful. Don't buy from that guy. Starter looked like it was used, so this is a used twice starter. It's junkyard right all over the place. So we've got a nice new one going in there right now. Sounds pretty smooth. Yeah, I've got the hood.
You got it? Okay.
So engine swap position, if you've never done this before, it's right there. Take the hood prop off, put it back over here. We call it the engine swap position because that's what it is on the Integras. When you put it straight up, it just kind of looks the right part. So everything's done on his list. Put new springs in it, peace of mind. We should be good. Or this is something, like I mentioned, we used to make one at a time. Basically get a chunk of aluminum, cut it down, round it, drill countersink holes and that kind of thing. But it never really looked that nice. And of course, we want to offer something you can install yourself. Something that makes a huge difference, that's easy to install. So many of these S2000s we're seeing have the little wobble in the back of the bumper. Some are worse than others, like the red car I showed you earlier. That was the worst one we've seen. And I think over time, the bumper starts to take that shape. It gets gaps on the sides, the bottom starts to droop, and then the wind catches it and makes it worse. So check this out. It is in the store. It is ready to install. It comes with the stainless hardware and this bar. You take the clips out, you bolt this in. It's ready to go. LHTperformance.com. All right, early in the morning. I'm always the first one here. The CRX, as you see, the axle's out. We're filming for part 2. Drop the transmission, going through the clutch, making sure all that's happy. This is another car we're building. It's a Florida car, beautiful 06. This will be on an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. These are some of the parts that we've made over the years, just a handful. These are made in the United States. I've been a big advocate of making things in the United States. The problem is I'm paying so much money for this stuff, and by the time I mark it up and sell it to you guys, I'm trying to pass something on to you guys. I want it to be quality, but I want it to be affordable. I don't want to sell 3 items at a high price. I'd rather sell 3,000 and get the savings onto you. You guys are supporting us. We're supporting you by trying to bring you the best product. So look out for better pricing. I'm making my stuff overseas. I didn't want to do it, but we've got several products now. The quality is absolutely amazing. I hate to say it, in some cases it's better than what I'm getting here in the USA. Bring the best quality stuff to you guys. I'm not just about trying to make a profit. Obviously, I got to make a profit, but I want to bring you the best thing I possibly can. I'm looking at you like it's me. If I get this thing in the mail, I want it to be nice. These are absolutely top quality. I'm super excited. Can't wait to show you the other things. I'm like a kid here, but I'm trying to bring them out little by little and make a make a point of how they work and how they look. So stay tuned for this. I'll show you a full demo on more cars on this. We've been testing it for months now. We've been testing it on several cars. Make sure it's good. And then the other tools, same thing. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Don't forget, enjoy your cars.